Before I start this video, please go and check out my other channel, Entify World, links below. I've just done a new video about copywriting your biometrics. So the Entify project is going to be doing this, something very interesting and very important. So check out that video and please subscribe to that channel, help me get it going. So today's video, I want to show you some more images of old world buildings that I've seen around London. There's so many of them, but these structures are so special. Again, highly underrated. They're so similar all around the world, and they are so well built. You could ask any architect or builder today, could they replicate this? And I mean stone for stone, and including the foundations, underground catacombs, because all of these are so stable you never see subsidence anywhere around the world. You must also comprehend the size of the foundations and how did they build that. So, and they would say no, we couldn't really replicate this. We could create a copy, but nothing of this standard. And in fact, the real reason is the mathematics. This is why they're so special. All these buildings are connected because of mathematics. They're all using a particular type of geometry, and this is called incommensurable geometry. It's also called incommensurable mathematics. It's all to do with the golden ratio. Now the golden ratio is this special number. It's a particular proportionality that represents growth. Natural growing things have to replicate themselves and expand using this golden ratio number. It's the mathematics of life. And this mathematics, the golden ratio, it creates a sort of binary code. And this is what is called incommensurable mathematics. So binary code, we know that is 1 and 0. And you can do a lot with 1 and 0. But incommensurable mathematics is 1 and phi. So phi is the golden ratio. And if you use these two numbers, the proportionalities between 1 and phi, you build up a whole interesting mathematics with this perfect sort of symmetry. It's fractal. It always replicates itself because 1 and phi, they're so closely connected. It's absolutely fascinating. And this mathematics, you can think of this as the mathematics of the universe. Again, the mathematics of creation. The golden ratio is proven, it is known to be the mathematics of life. All natural things, you see it everywhere, these spirals. But when you create geometry, structures, using this 1 and phi proportionality, you have all these particular triangles, squares, circles. Again, these are not just random. You see, these structures are so similar and they're so complex. If you would analyze the mathematics, knowing this, you would see how clever they are. These have to have been built by extremely clever people. And there's more layers to it as well, because the circle itself would not be based on pi. Pi is actually slightly incorrect. Now we're using pi as 3.141. But the real pi is called golden pi. You have to integrate the golden ratio to discover the true pi. That is 3.144. And again, this is a 2,000-year-old mathematical mistake. Pi, big deal. And I believe these buildings would be built using golden pi in creating the circles and the proportionality of the circles to the squares, the structures. You see, even the tall building there will be relatively in proportion to the square building at the side. The circle will be relative proportion to the height of the thing. Everything will be in relative perfect proportionality according to the golden ratio. And you see, it's asymmetrical. These churches, again, it's not religious. They're the same everywhere. There's nowhere in the religion that says you must build a church exactly to this specifications wherever you go. No, this has to be technology. And it's technology based on incommensurable mathematics. And this is so special because it's the mathematics of life, but more fundamentally than that is the mathematics of universe. the universe. The actual proportionality of energy, transformation of energy in the universe. It's quite literally the connection between spirit and matter, consciousness, abstract spirit, and the material world. That is 1 and phi. 1 is perfection, heaven. Phi is this infinite number. That is imperfection, the material world. And we create this mathematics between these two things. It's very esoteric, very mystical, but it is the real deal. Because if you create structures using this, geometry using this, this is what you would call magic. And again, the pentagram that is now used by magic and the so-called, dark cult, but that was really the same mathematics. The pentagram was Pythagorean, again based on incommensurable geometry. And it was magic because it had this golden ratio connection. And why does that have magic? Why does it have power? Okay, this is the secret. This incommensurable mathematics connects to the very creation, formation of life. And in fact, the whole universe is alive, and it connects to the very creation, formation of the universe. But it's not actually created, it's always here. The whole thing is in process. So this mathematics has a universal resonance, a connection. If you use it, you are connecting to the process of energy creation. So quite literally, these structures are creating energy. But it is this mysterious energy, etheric energy, consciousness energy, the life force energy. So you cannot measure that in the ways we look at science. It's measured by your feeling. Now, if we were more sensitive people, beings, if we were in touch with the life force, we could really feel the energy. If you go into those structures, you would feel the power. And in the old days, when these structures were active, I believe the beings were more in tune with that energy. So they would go into the structure to be energized, build up their power, build up their connection to the etheric energy, the spiritual world. And that's why, of course, they translated into religion. But religion has really become a hierarchical structure, a power structure that is now used to control us and manipulate us. The real purpose of these was technological. But technological was also spiritual. It's the technology of etheric energy. Now, saying that these structures are so clever, remember, if you utilize this mathematics, it connects to the creation of energy on all levels. And I mean electromagnetism. Electricity, magnetism, gravity, light, heat, sound, all physical manifestations of energy will be optimized if you use resonant structures based on incommensurable mathematics, the golden ratio. You see all these circles, all these little filigree. Again, these are artistic designs. But again, they have symmetry and they have proportionality, and they stimulate this resonance of life energy. Now there's the date, 1848, but whether that's the real date, I doubt it very much indeed. I think the people that built these buildings, they weren't bothered about the date. This was entirely built by a higher level civilization. The precision of it, and again, the precision is important because this incommensurable mathematics, 1 and phi, the closer you can get to this perfect proportionality, in other words, the more perfect you can build the building, the more powerful it will be. Now look at it in this modern skyline. It looks alien. This is just a random church just down my high street near us somewhere, but it's massive. Look at the angle of that spire, the pinnacle, the very angle, the number of sides, 4 going to 8, going back to 4, or might be going to 8, I can't remember. Look at that circle. Now this is again a magnetic resonator, but it resonates with light. Stained glass windows, they would have been crystal. This tower resonates with sound. The whole building will be tuned to the bells, so they will shake, resonate, but the whole tuning will be mathematical. Mathematical will be connected to incommensurable mathematics. Everything is tied together with this same mathematics. and I mean acoustic, electromagnetic, and I mean etheric. You see, the structure is connected to the earth. The earth, the size, proportionality of the earth will also be connected to the size, the proportionality of this building. The north-south axis, you know, the magnetic field of the earth, it will be aligned correctly. Everything is integrated. Now look at this, you can clearly see electrostatics. This is a massive antenna, two of them built to collect to the atmospheric energy. It looks exactly like a battery, you know, positive and negative, anode and cathode. Something is going on here. So these buildings would be electrified, and that would be used. You could have a lighting system quite easily powered by the building itself and the earth underneath. Remember, deep into the earth. So I'm going to talk about the lighting systems in time. So that's coming next. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.